Good morning. Wake up, New Orleans. It's hump day, y'all. Happy Wednesday. Thanksgiving week. Thanksgiving week. I know y'all prepared with all the good food, but good morning. Welcome to the Good Morning Show. I am your host, Dr. Ashanta White. Behind the glass, holding us all together, is super producer Nyron Sanders. Hey, OT. Waiting on you, my love. So listen, there are some wonderful things going on. I know OT is waiting on that oyster dressing. I'm looking forward to my Auntie Vel's cornbread dressing. And the rest of y'all must be looking forward to Bayou Classic. I know my child is. So look, what are you thankful for? The number here is 504-582-9422. OT and I started talking about it yesterday, about things we're thankful for. But we want to know what you're thankful for. I'm thankful that it's hump day, OT's favorite day of the week. Y'all gonna slide right into Friday after you eat all that good turkey and dressing. So what are you thankful for? 504-582-9422. As I was coming to work this morning, I was listening to national news, and they were talking about President Biden and the administration negotiating a ceasefire between Hezbollah and Israel, and they are hoping that this gives way to peace talks for the Gaza Strip. So in national war news, that is a step in the right direction. I think it's just in time for a season of gratitude. So if this peace treaty between Hezbollah and Israel gives way to some peace on the Gaza Strip, then that would be more than what everybody is hoping for. So hopefully it leads to that. We have a wonderful show this morning. The Parent Leadership Collaborative is going to join us at 7:20. They're going to talk about good morning, OT, how to empower parents and caregivers. And then we're going to talk to Leroy Brown at the 8 o'clock hour. And of course, we're gonna talk to Chef D at 8:45, and I'm gonna tell y'all why Chef D on the lineup, because my super producer always putting the good food on the front porch. So I said I got a problem with that. Can we eat over here in the morning, Oliver? So Chef D gonna come talk to us. What? You think he gonna have some oyster dress? What I did? I didn't even do nothing.
No, you're gonna start yesterday.
What I did?
See, I think you forget sometimes.
What?
This OT, y'all. I think you forget sometimes.
OT, what I done?
People be listening to us, right?
Yeah.
So I'm doing my business, and people saying a fourth and a fourth, not half.
No, and that because we got to keep you here for a long time. You got to let Ollie knew. Ollie brand
Stop
new.
it.
Ollie just came out the oven.
Happy wonderful Wednesday. Happy wonderful. So I got people talking to me. I'm in the middle of a serious conversation with serious people, and people say,
fourth.
"Hey, bro,
you cannot have half a plate of oyster dressing.
You can't do half."
Yeah, and when Chef D come here, I'm gonna make sure he know whatever he's feeding you, it has to be a fourth.
All right.
Okay, you need leafy greens, some fruit, and not half dressing. OT.
Yeah, Mama Shanti.
I just don't want you to have diabetes. I just want to type 1 or type 2.
Lord. Oh, scared me in the shape. Oh man, well this is wonderful
This your
Wednesday,
favorite day of
wide
the
open
week?
Wednesday. This yes.
Favorite day of the week.
We're
hump
rolling
day.
up,
rolling
down in the hump day. We got a lot of stuff to do.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
Yes,
man.
indeed. And listen, early voting is still happening. There are 4 amendments on the ballot, and if you happen to live in District 2, there's a very important school board race between Gabriella Biro and Eric Jones.
Vote for us in the school board race. We'll leave it like that. Vote for us.
I'm just saying, you have to make certain that you look into each person's platform and do what is best for children. That is what we have to start doing.
Vote for us.
We have to do that. And so if you're in District 2, there's a very imperative school board race going on, and there are 4 amendments on the ballot, and you can visit Black Source Media, Think 504. They broke down the amendments, what your yes vote means, what your no vote means. If you prefer to go to parlouisiana.org, they also broke down the amendments, what your yes vote means and what your no vote means. So please inform yourself before you go into the booth.
man. And for folks, who logged on now, if you're logging off, if you get to your job, man, have a happy Thanksgiving. Now, I am.
Yes.
And again, I'll say, man, to everybody who told me happy birthday, because my late mom's birthday was on the 25th. I am so excited about being thankful for this Thanksgiving. And Dr. Wyatt, I'm thankful for you.
Thank you. So am I. I tell everybody. All of my friends know, all of my family know that my Auntie Linnell talks about it all the time. She said, you don't act like that with nobody but Oliver. It's like you just be so happy, and then everybody else come. And you, I mean, you do your job, but you can see you light up when you're talking to
But-
Oliver. I said that's my actual co-host. Like we have a.
But you like one of my aunties used to be. You know I need help. So you know I can be something.
Listen,
OT.
I'm here
OT
for
just
it.
needs some help.
I mean, look at Don already on our line. Don love talking to us early in the morning. At the top
Absolutely.
Of the, yes, indeed. Let's
We
see what
love-
Don's talking about.
Don's one of the smartest people
Good
that
morning,
I know.
Don. Welcome to the Good Morning Show.
Good morning, Don. Happy day before, bruh.
You're wearing what's the design you're wearing this morning, Dr. White? You look lovely as usual.
Look at us.
Yes, ma'am.
Don,
And I
stop
heard you
starting
on the
stuff.
talking about your feet. You know, yeah. But nevertheless, how are you doing, Councilman? I mean, well, not Councilman. OT. You OT in the office.
I'm doing
yes,
better
sir.
now,
being very,
bruh.
very petty.
Yeah.
Don.
Yeah.
He's
But
being
look,
very petty right now.
no, sir. Oliver Thomas has demonstrated so much
No, I can be
to
petty,
people
bruh.
beyond what he can say in words. You know, the average human being, we may use 6,000 words.
Yeah, well.
And Oliver Thomas is definitely a 10,000 word brother.
He absolutely
To fit
is,
his
and most of
description.
them gonna rhyme too if you listen real
And
close.
Petty run one of them. Look, one of the reasons why me and Dr. Wise
that's why it's
get
called-
along, because
that's
she
why
know
they're
I'm a little
called-
grimy too.
Yeah, that's why in the Navy and the Coast Guard, they're called Chief Petty Officers.
Go
right.
ahead, Don. Stop it, bro.
But anyway, I hear that there's a struggle for Charity Hospital, the former Charity Hospital, and
Yeah.
Tulane University, and the Wisner family, the foundation, the trust fund.
Mm-hmm.
But let me say this: as far as it comes to these foundations, these endowments, these trusts, and there's Warren Buffett is worth over $150 billion.
Yes, sir.
He's directing his children, who are in their 60s and 70s, so about how to disseminate and use those funds for their decided charities and causes. $150 billion. Now, the Houston Endowment, it's called the Houston Endowment, named after the founders are Jesse H. Jones, who beat Huey P. Long, in the era of FDR and his wife. The Houston Endowment is founded by Jesse H. Jones and his wife, Marla Gibbs Jones. Okay, that was established in 1937. That's coming up on 90 years. It has $2 billion in its endowment, and endowments are able to donate to causes and charities and issues about 5%. Okay, we're talking about a $2 billion endowment. Think of Warren Buffett, $150 billion, and the power. Tulane University, as a university, has about a $2 billion, over $2 billion endowment. Harvard has over 70 billion. Stanford, MIT. So we're talking about, when we talk about these trusts and endowments, charitable foundation, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, we're talking about the opportunity that these are protected trusts. They don't pay taxes. They're tax exempt. And the mission that we hope that they fulfill locally is paramount. It's paramount to the civility and the level of society, of society that we have moving forward. So Tulane has exhibited expertise in building community. They was one of the first to be in New Orleans during over a century ago, and the trust fund of the family was generous. I don't think that anyone, the mayor or anyone else, should be making deals in secret and usurping the power of the people through the apparatus of our city council and those who are charged with the legislation and who had the purse strings. So I think that we got to have things above board.
Thank you.
Because these trusts and these foundations have to be above board in their dealings and their structural forms.
Thank you.
Absolutely agree.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Big Don.
Don.
Appreciate you, man.
So look, it's always good to talk to Don early in the morning, but we also want to know what you're thankful for. So the number here is 504-582-9422. I'm absolutely thankful for my co-host. I'm thankful for WBOK. Thankful for my super producer behind the glass, always holding it together. But what
Yeah.
you thankful for, OT?
Man, I'm actually thankful for being able to share this time with friends and family and hold on to positive memories
Absolutely.
and know that in spite of where we are, if collectively we love and we care
That's our goal.
and we're concerned that there's always a chance that
Yes,
everything
indeed.
will be all right.
So look, on the other side of the break, we're going to talk to the Parent Leadership Collaborative. Their goal is to empower parents and caregivers in the city of New Orleans. So stay with us on the other side of the break. This is WBOK 1230
And what
AM.
New Orleans is talking about.
All day long. Whose
It's
station?
our station.
Our
baby.
station.
What is the way forward for New Orleans, Louisiana, or the nation? I'm Eddie Francis. Every week, I'll discuss issues that impact our well-being and how we can navigate those issues with a solutions-based approach. Join me every Saturday at 2 p.m. for The Way Forward on WBOK 1230 AM or streaming live at WBOK1230am.com on Facebook, YouTube, or the Play Ode app. WBOK, what New Orleans is talking about.
NOLA Public Schools' main round enrollment for kindergarten through 12th grade is now open. With 73 schools available through the NOLA Public Schools Common Application Process, or NCAP, finding the right school fit for your family is easier than ever. List up to 12 choices to maximize your chances and apply by January 24th. We're all in, and we hope you are too. Apply today at enrollnolaps.com. That's enrollnolaps.com.
Welcome to Chemical of the Month, a service of the community scientist and Rise St. James. This month, we're focusing on lead, a heavy metal that's dense, soft, and poses serious health risks. In Cancer Alley, lead exposure from industrial emissions or contaminated soil can significantly increase cancer risks and other health problems. Stay informed and protect your health. For more information, visit risestjames.org.
History doesn't just happen, it's made. As General Motors strives to be the most inclusive company in the world, we support those who electrify the future. Look out for Chevrolet at participating SWAC football games this season to learn more about GM's all-electric future. General Motors. Honor history. Make history. Watch history in motion at gmmakehistory.com.
Life is made of unforgettable moments. Being with the people you love and doing the things you love to do. But if you're over 75 or 60 plus with certain health conditions, you're at higher risk for severe illness from RSV. An RSV vaccine can reduce that risk so you can be there for all those moments you've yet to make. Risk less, do more. Get started at vaccines.gov. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Hello, Jaguar Nation. This is Chris Powers, the voice of your Southern University Jaguars. Get ready for the granddaddy of them all, the 51st Annual Bayou Classic, and you can catch the game right here on WBOK 1230 AM. What New Orleans is talking about. Join myself and Hall of Fame coach Pete Richardson in 2 weeks as the Jaguars play the Tigers of Grambling State. Countdown to Jaguar Kickoff pregame show starts at 12:30 p.m. and kickoff at 1 p.m. The only place in New Orleans to catch the Bayou Classic. WBOK 1230 AM. What New Orleans is talking about.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM.
Good morning, wake up.
The Good Morning Show.
Good morning.
On WBOK 1230 AM.
We are back. Welcome back to the Good Morning Show. It's Hump Day, y'all. Oliver's favorite
On the
day of the
front, the
week.
fresh
I
side of
am
Hump Day.
Dr. Ashanta Wyatt. OT to the right of me today. Y'all know that look weird to y'all, huh? Because it's not normal, right?
Yeah, but you know, we
It
mix
can
it up.
happen. We can make it
we
happen.
mix it up.
And in studio right now, we have the Parent Leadership Collaborative with Miss Ty and Miss Benita. Good morning. How y'all doing?
Good morning.
Welcome to the Good Morning
morning.
Show.
Good morning.
How y'all
So y'all
doing?
look, I want y'all to send some love in the chat to Miss Benita because she nervous, but she gonna be all right. David is behind the glass making certain that everything goes
That's right.
the way it's supposed to
That's
go.
right.
So how you feeling this morning, Benita?
I'm doing well.
You're
thank
doing
you.
well. Are you excited about Thanksgiving?
I am.
What? Oyster
I
dressing
am.
or cornbread dressing?
The gumbo.
Benita, don't fall for that. She messing with me right now.
What about you, Ty? How you doing?
I'm doing well.
You doing well?
Yes.
Gumbo for you too?
Gumbo.
Yeah, just no pork for me. I can come eat your gumbo.
Me too.
No, yeah,
Me
no,
too,
see?
ma'am.
I
Turkey
don't
sausage,
eat-
beef
Yeah,
sausage,
absolutely.
shrimp. Yeah, we're
I
good.
don't eat pork, but I love me some crispy bacon.
But you can only have a fourth of the strip of bacon.
Ooh.
We got to keep him on track. So talk to us about the Parent Leadership Collaborative. Ty. Because you know we're going to let her warm up.
Okay, so the Parent Leadership Collaborative is a group of parents who started meeting back in 2022 with answering the questions of like looking at the needs of parents, where parents were overlooked, where our kids' needs were overlooked, where we were not seen as experts on our children, and people sometimes tell us things that we knew that weren't true about our kids and really weren't meeting the needs of parents.
And so with this meeting of parents, is it parents, like any parent can come to the PLC from any part of the city? Because this is a different school system than we have anywhere. So are all parents from all networks invited to join your PLC? What does membership look like?
Yes, so we were very intentional about having parents represented from different zip codes across the greater New Orleans area so that everybody would have a voice. We were very intentional about language justice and having Hispanic speakers and translators come, so we heard their voice and what every parent needed. And so when it started, there was an open call for parents. We completed an application and came on board, where we'll be doing that process again starting early 2025, where we'll put out another call for parents. We primarily focused on parents and caregivers who had a child between 0 and 5 in the household. So those were the needs that we were looking at.
So in your role with the Parent Leadership Collaborative, did you start out as a parent seeking some sort of community for your child?
So when I joined, it was actually through Benita who told me about this organization of parents who were getting together. And it really was. So I had I guess she was 3.5 at the time, and always wanting to make sure that as a parent, my needs were being heard, and that service providers were giving us what we needed.
And what about you? How did you join the PLC? How did you become introduced to it? Just as a parent seeking answers?
Okay, so actually, my background has always been parent advocacy for the past 14 years, and so I was introduced to the PLC through the advocacy work that I do, which is elevating parent voice in the community. And so through there, working and establishing our framework through the PLC, that's how we were able to open it up and decide what demographic of parent we were looking for.
Yeah, I was really taken by the phrase. She said, people telling us what to do and how to be, and we're the experts on our children, right? So when you talk about parental advocacy, what has to happen right now? Because we're in a society, and I said earlier before we started the show, people either want to blame parents, or it's parents' fault, or parents are ignored altogether. Where did that shift start, right? And because at one point, you'd go talk to the parent about their child. Now people talk about the parent and the child.
Right. So pinpointing where the shift began, I don't know. I do believe that with the current climate, and the climate has been growing, right? Taking away the power of parenting has been an ongoing process in America lately. And so with the PLC, that is one of our biggest initiatives, is bringing the power back to the parent, because if we're not at the table.
I want you to stay there, and I know we got Pop
Okay.
Jones as a
Okay.
caller. Dr. White will get to it at some point. But, you know, I think there's an amazing spiritual tone to this show, and how things will get to where me and Dr. White are thinking, and they'll actually come out at some point. It's crazy how we do that, right? But I was actually thinking that, and listening, is that, and we've talked about this before, what would happen to all these parenting classes and parenting initiatives that they used to have over the last 70 or 80 years? So people like all of a sudden realize, oh, now we got to start focusing on and training and providing resources to parents, but that's what we used to do. Why did they go away? The National Council of Negro Women parenting classes, the Dryden YMCA home economic and parenting classes. How did all those things go away? School systems used to have PTOs would engage parents. So parents have always had been resourced and had access in terms of training and how to parent, but not anymore.
Correct. I think, I mean, just as I expressed at the beginning, when there's a shift in thought process, the shift in funding goes as well.
Well, I mean, if I'm gonna add my 2 cents, I'm going to say, just from in my expert opinion, I think the idea of censoring parents took a back seat when this idea of full autonomy walked into the room, right? You can have autonomy without the exclusion of folk. You can make your decisions for your school without excluding parents and community stakeholders. You don't have to shut them out to be able to have ownership of a thing.
You know, that's a heavy
correct.
thought. That's a deep thought.
Yes.
And I'm going to say it because I think it deserves. So at some point, what the world said is that we're going to be in control of your child.
Yes, absolutely.
From the
Absolutely.
school system to the prison system
Absolutely.
to the economy.
And that's what it is. And so when you shut a parent out, the expert in the room, right? Then you become the expert, because now you've so I don't think autonomy should exclude any stakeholder that has a vested interest in the well-being of that kid. Pop Jones, what you say? Good morning.
Pop,
Welcome to the Good Morning Show.
Happy day before Thanksgiving, Pop.
Oh, thank you very much for taking my call, OT and Dr. Wise, and I wish you all a happy pre-Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
You asked the question, what I'm thankful for. And if I could make it short, I'm thankful that God has shown me favor and allowed me to be on this planet as long as I've been on the planet, and have a mate by my side to help me. If I could tell a short story, when I was coming up as a kid, I asked my mother, I said, Mother, why I don't have friends like other children? And I think she told me, be a friend to myself and try to treat other people right. And I think that has worked so far.
Wow, thank you, Pop.
And got my children, some family that's still around. And I'm thankful for WBOK.
And Pop, we thankful
all
for
the
you.
hostess and listeners. So
and
I have so much to be thankful for, OT.
we're thankful for you. And
I
thank you
can't
for
tell
sharing.
it all.
Thank you for sharing that solemn moment, man. We love you, man.
We love you, Pop Jones.
All right.
Thank you, Pop.
Have a good one. Happy
thank
Thanksgiving.
Of course, Pop.
Well, that brings it back to parenting, right? The parent leadership thing. He's
and
thankful.
his parents.
Absolutely, that's what we're talking about here. But if we want to anchor the
Yeah.
conversation and back into Oliver's question, is when did we step away from censoring parents? Is when this idea of systems thinking that autonomy means exclusion. It doesn't. I think if you want a successful partnership between home and school, you have to censor parents. They're your first data points about their children. right?
Absolutely.
So-
and that's really what we are looking for,
Yes.
is to give parents a seat at
Yes.
the table.
Yes.
So that we are seen as collaborators.
You are the table. They're coming to your table.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And then we can all have discussions
Yes.
and figure out what our children need. And so looking at the tool that we created, like we all ended up like coming to a room and saying, okay, when you go to, whether it's a dentist, a doctor, the library, a museum, what's missing? And whether it's signage, whether it's something in a second language, whether it's, something not being really ADA accessible,
So y'all
whether
really have
there's
like a little checklist, little
exactly,
rubric.
a
Yes.
sensory-friendly room
Yes.
where it's too loud or too bright for our
Yes.
kids who may be on the spectrum.
Yes.
Right? And providing that to service providers, saying, this is what we need from you.
So what are your 4 core standards for your PLC?
Okay, so the number one would be families, family-centered.
Okay.
Families as part of the table, equity and inclusion, which is very important, and of course, safety.
So if equity and inclusion is a pillar of what PLCs do, how do you feel about this governmental push to eliminate DEI investments all across this country? Because it's happening like in real time.
It definitely is.
Walmart is the latest big, and I know a lot of parents,
Right.
Walmart is their first go-to in terms of shopping needs for their children. How do you feel about companies like that pushing their DEI initiatives away if DEI is one of your pillars of your PLC?
It's disheartening.
It is.
Because it's very important, especially for children of color, and being able to navigate through systems. And so with the current push to eliminate DEI, what that means for our children and children of color is that they're going to be missing out on specific connections that they need to be able to navigate this world. And it only takes one generation or one class
Absolutely.
to sort of forget
Or to
certain
lose
things.
them.
Right.
To lose them.
So, so I think that's a major part of the push is to retrain our children to think a different way and not see the importance of diversity, equity, inclusion.
The dynamics have changed. Social scientists who study this, right, have looked at it over the last several decades. 1968, from that point forward, started the decline of African American households and two parents or two guardians, right? I think 68% of black households had a male and female head of household. Couldn't define, you don't have to define mom, dad, car, had a male and female. Today it's only 36%. The white community and Hispanic community still hover over 70% of male and female head of household. What impact does that have on parenting? Because when you listen to economists and social scientists, it has an impact in terms of wealth and wealth creation, mental and emotional stability. Talk about that statistics, how the other communities have stayed stable, but when you talk about the decline of that male and female parenting influence, we've gone in the wrong direction. We've gone in the wrong direction. It doesn't mean you can't survive with just the mama or just the daddy, but the impact of not having at least one or the other.
So I was going to say that those statistics that are out there, yes, it definitely shows the impact. One of the things that we are doing with the PLC, which I really appreciate, is being very cognizant of the language that we use with parents and caregivers, so that we are making sure that everybody has a voice at the table, whoever is caring for that child, right? Because what we found is that a lot of caregivers are feeling excluded and left out, because when you look at even a simple form that you're filling out,
Absolutely. It's not in your or it's not in your language.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. And so Even in our mission and all of the language that we're using, we are very intentionally saying caregivers as well as parents to make sure that they feel included. And this is one of those pieces where DEI is so important, and it's so many things other than just race.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So it's all of those little pieces.
Well,
and
because DEI doesn't even use the word race. It says
Exactly.
diversity, it says equity, and it says inclusion. It doesn't say anything about race. All it does is make certain that access is available for everybody.
Right.
That's what DEI is about. So can you tell us some of the workshops and forums that you offer for the PLCs?
Okay, so as we're beginning to build out for the PLC, in early 2025, what we are looking into is tapping into the importance of being trauma informed, because a lot of our children, even at younger ages, are impacted by things that are going on in the communities. So the mental health aspect. So even within our PLC, we do provide with our training on equity inclusion. So we will have workshops on race. And so we provide one of the other things that we do within the PLC is that we have a training model. So what that means is, so we have certain members of the PLC who may be more skilled in certain areas, and so we bring up the parents so that they can, if part of leadership is what we're talking about, which is one, like PLC, that we want to make sure that we are providing space for all parents to be able to step up and lead, and so that is a major aspect of what we do.
And the other thing that we are doing, and we're encouraging people to follow us on social media and to sign up to the newsletter on our website, is because that we also will end up having surveys and polls to find out specifically what parents need in that moment. Because even though we are parents as well, we also understand the importance of hearing what you need at this moment and making sure that's what we're providing, and not telling you we know what you need.
So what are your
right?
social medias and website?
So it is we're on Facebook, Instagram. The website is parentleadershipcollaborative.org. And from there, you can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn as well.
How concerned are y'all, in a couple of minutes before we go to break, in this time that so many people are calling for punishment of parents, policies that blame parents, and in many cases using the criminal justice system to go after what they consider neglectful parents, especially given the political environment? How concerned are you guys?
I mean, that's, again, very concerning because traditionally, if you look at the trend in America, it's always been to dismantle the family. Right, and so especially in communities, yes, in communities of color, and so.
But hold on a second, please. When we say communities of color, right? Whites, Hispanics, and Asians are still over 70%. So they're not dismantling those families. Our families are being dismantled.
Yes, black families. Okay. That is true.
All right.
That is true. So. Particularly, black families are being dismantled, and so that's another layer of where we're not going to, we're not going to gain financial stability. What happens in a family when you have a two-parent household or the extended family in the household, and that support that's there is constantly being dismantled. So the things that we need to continue to push us forward and elevate our stance in the community is constantly being dismantled. So that's very discerning.
Right, and I think that, and again, our goal is to gather with parents and caregivers and find out what their needs are and share resources with them to say that, if you are looking for a doctor who is going to see you as a partner and not tell you what you need to do for your kid, these are ones that are PLC approved, right? That's where we're getting to.
Well, listen, if you're just joining us, we're talking to Ty and Benita from the Parent Leadership Collaborative. We have to take a break, but we'll have more with them on the other side. This is WBOK 1230 AM.
Hey, what New Orleans is talking about.
All day long. Whose station,
It's
OT?
our station,
Our
baby.
station.
This is your news update for WBOK 1230 AM from WDSU. For all your news and weather, watch WDSU News, New Orleans' leader in live, local, late-breaking news. Today at noon and 4 p.m.
All of southeast Louisiana is under a dense fog advisory. We're looking at visibility for the morning commute to be less than a mile in some spots. We'll expect this to get better as we head throughout the day. We'll see a little more sunshine today. Highs will make it into the mid to upper 70s for us, so slightly warmer than yesterday. We are watching for storms to move in for our Thanksgiving Day. From the WDSU First Warning Weather Center, I'm Raven Richard.
So this new dose is... nope, that's not it. The price is nowhere to be found.
Mr. Green? Hi, it's all good. We've got this.
This is not just help from a Walgreens pharmacist.
Oh, new prescriptions. Cool. Let me check to see if these are the lowest cost options covered by your Medicare plan.
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
This is someone supporting you every step of the way. Chat with a pharmacist today to find help saving. This is the human kind of help. Walgreens.
New Orleans, it's time to invest in our children's future. I'm Eric Doc Jones, an experienced educator, proven leader, and tireless advocate for our students. I'm in the runoff election for the Orleans Parish School Board District 2. It is critical because our students deserve better. I'm honored to have the endorsement of U.S. Congressman Troy Carter, Louisiana State Senator Joseph Boyd, and Councilman Oliver Thomas. Early voting begins November the 22nd and Election Day December the 7th. Vote Eric Doc Jones, District 2, number 12 on the ballot. Our children, our responsibility. Paid for by the committee to elect Eric Doc Jones, number 12.
Are you ready to make a difference in your community? Join me, Randy Chambliss, and my co-hosts, Dion Dana and Barry Mallory, on Helping the Village Radio Show, where we raise awareness, advocate for real solutions, and coordinate supportive services to prevent and reduce homelessness. We're connecting the dots to build stronger, thriving communities. Tune in every first and third Saturday at 2 p.m. as we collaborate with local leaders, real estate investors, and nonprofits, working together to provide hope and opportunity for those in need. Helping the Village Radio Show, empowering change one community at a time.
The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation is the nonprofit organization that owns the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival presented by Shell. With the funds generated from Jazz Fest, the foundation invests in Louisiana companies through economic development, cultural enrichment, and free educational programs. To learn more about what the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation does, please visit www.jazzandheritage.org.
Welcome to Liberty Bank and Trust, where your financial journey transforms communities. Since 1972, our customized banking solutions power your dreams and fuel your community growth. Every dollar you invest with us circles back to empower more people, ensuring opportunities for generations. Join us at Liberty Bank. Together, we empower possibility. Visit libertybank.net to start banking with purpose. Liberty Bank, there's freedom here.
Good morning, Wake Up. The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK 1230 AM.
And we are back. Welcome back to the Good Morning Show. Happy Hump Day. Happy Thanksgiving week.
My day.
It's his favorite.
Rolling in the backside of Hump Day, we're going to roll right into Thanksgiving.
Slide right
Football
on in the Friday.
games in the week.
Y'all favorite time of the year,
yes,
huh?
it is. Yes, it is.
If you're just joining us, we are talking to Ty and Benita from the Parent Leadership Collaborative, talking all things empowering parents and caregivers, because that's an important word. We don't want to ostracize anybody by using just the word parent, because there are some bonus parents out there. There's some guardians, there's some caregivers. And so we want to put some respect on all of the folk who take care of our babies. So when we talk about this Parent Leadership Collaborative, what are some of the long-term goals for Parent Leadership Collaborative, and how will you measure progress over the coming years?
So one of the, I think, most impactful things that we've seen so far is we did a pilot study with 10 service providers where we had parent assessors go out and use our rubric to assess those service providers. They were able to assess themselves, and every single one of them came back and said, hey, like, we were doing good in these areas, but you showed us our blind spots. Or we thought we were doing good, but when we realized we weren't doing as good as we thought we were, there was some room for improvement. And so they all ended up coming up with several pointers that they were going to make changes to enhance the services they provided to their customers, which are our kids and families, right?
So do you feel that you have buy-in from our schools as a whole, or the school district? Because we have a district, even though it might not function as a traditional district will function, but do you feel that there's buy-in from the district and buy-in from our CMOs across the city?
So when we worked with service providers, we primarily, because the population that we're dealing with is 0 to 5.
Okay.
So we had some daycare centers.
Early Head Start.
Exactly, right? But we also have parents who are educators or in the school system where we do have buy-in from them. And so we do think that as we continue to roll out and reach out to more service providers, that they realize that, again, we make them better.
Absolutely. And I do know, and it is my understanding, that you guys do some phenomenal work across languages, right, across ethnicities. And so talk to us about how you make space for people who are not English, first language English learners. So how does that work for them?
Right. So we provide real-time interpretation. So we partner with Boncholinguist, and they come in and provide real-time interpretation. So our Spanish speakers are able to provide their input into what we're doing within the PLC. And so what that means is that we as English speakers learn how to tune in and understanding what they're expressing, and then our Spanish speakers feel like they are more empowered because in most spaces they are this service is not provided for them. They have to ask for it first, but we come in providing it immediately.
And do you know how valuable that is for me? Because if I'm a person whose language is not English first, and I don't have to ask for that service, I feel like you see me, right? I feel like you value me. I feel like it's to me one of the most powerful things you can do for a person who is new to this country, new to the way we do things, but they can hear themselves. They understand what's happening in the room. There's so many times we go to school board meetings, and I know in Jefferson Parish, I went to a couple school board meetings and there wasn't an interpreter in the room. And so you have this huge population of folk who can't be vested into what is being said because they don't understand it. And so that Orleans Parish does a really good job of making certain that they're interpreting things in multiple languages. And so that is a very, very important asset to have in any organization. So kudos to y'all for that. How does the PLC plan to build trust with parents and caregivers who may have previously felt excluded or disengaged from service providers?
And so a couple of the things that we are doing, one is giving them voice, right? And asking them, not telling them, listening to them, believing them when they tell us about their experience, and sharing that while we understand that may have been their experience in the past, like, this is what we are doing to move forward. One of the other things, just to go back on that language piece, is that our website also is available in Spanish, and we're working on adding other languages as well. So that's just another way, or even like all of our social media posts are also translated into Spanish, so that parents can read that in the language in which they feel the strongest.
That's wonderful. Oti, you have anything you want to add?
No, just to say that I think this is a blessing and a godsend, and hopefully this movement continues because the history of parent people advocacy and folk who engage parent have been since the family was the foundation of this country. So now to say all of a sudden that we're rediscovering parents or blaming parents, right? And I think it's what Ms. Bonita said. It's that so the resources went away. the
Yeah.
resources. We've always been concerned or taught or had organizations that helped shape and train parents. Right? So I'm just glad this movement is headed back in the right direction. God bless y'all for doing it.
Thank you.
So I guess my question would be, I know there has to be some partnerships you guys are working with. Like, I don't believe that anybody can work in a silo and be successful. So can you talk about some of your partnerships that you have that make what you do successful?
All right. So so most of our parent leaders are part of organizations. We partner with those. Meaning so we have doulas, we have the early child care providers like Giggles, Tracy's Tiny Treasures. We also have our funders who are really, really behind the work that we do. We have Kellogg, Kresge Foundation was one of our major funders. We also have the United Way.
See, you're so good at what you do. You went into my next question. Look at that. I'm so proud of you, Benita. Look at you being a superstar and whatnot. Because that was going to be my question. Do you guys work across parishes? Are you in Orleans and Jefferson? Yes. So you should have partnerships with the Jeff Cap programs and the Head Start programs in Orleans Parish as well.
So initially when we began, it was in Orleans Parish.
Okay.
And then we recognized that we were not tapping into the surrounding areas.
Missing a whole demographic of people, right?
So that is where we are moving into that area, because we want to make sure that the work that we are doing is Louisiana-wide. And hopefully, it'll catch on and become United States-wide, nationwide, right? And so we are now moving into the Jefferson, making connections in Jefferson Parish, and the surrounding areas as well.
So for our WBOK listening audience who are more than likely parents themselves, how can they get involved with the work of the Parent Leadership Collaborative?
The first thing is to go to our website, parentleadershipcollaborative.org. You can read more about who we are, what we do. You can read little testimonials from our service providers who shared their experience, and then sign up. There is a form that you can use to sign up. What we are again, this is for early 2025. We will be looking for more service providers, more parent assessors, more parents to be a part of the collaborative, and of course, clearly more funders, right? Because we need funding to make sure that this works and that this expands. So over the next couple of weeks, we are just shoring up the work that we've done over the past 2 years so that we are ready to start 2025 with, again, going through and assessing another set of service providers, and then going back to our initial 10 to see how the improvements that they decided to make, like what impact that's had on their business, so that we can use that to help other service providers see that, again, when you make changes, when you are more accessible, when you see parents as partners and you are more collaborative with them, that we all win.
Absolutely.
That's the way you sat down
That's
and said, when we're more collaborative, we
that's
all
how you
win.
end it.
That's
Yeah,
from the
listen.
Book of Wyattism.
Absolutely. If you're just joining us, we were in conversation with Ty and Benita from the Parent Leadership Collaborative. We want to thank them for spending part of their morning with us. Shout out to David behind the glass as well. If you want to reach out to the Parent Leadership Collaborative, the website is parentleadershipcollaborative.org. All things empowerment of parents and caregivers. Will you promise to come back and see us soon?
Absolutely.
You have to, no doubt about it, huh? Oliver?
Yeah, especially on WBOK 1230.
The station
AM.
everybody listen to all day long. Well, listen, on the other side of the break, we're going to have conversations with Leroy Brown. He's going to give a recap and contestant winners from the O-Hub. I'm excited to see about that, hear about that. Stay with us right here, WBOK 1230 AM.
What New Orleans is talking about. Whose
all
station?
day long. It's our station,
It's
baby.
our station.
Stay right here.
WBOK 1230 AM New Orleans. Home of the Good Morning Show, 7 to 9 a.m. weekdays.
This news report is brought to you by New Schools for New Orleans. Lori Wood with 4 things you should know from BIN News. Donald Trump announced new cabinet nominations, including Dr. Jay Bhattacharya as director of the National Institutes of Health and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. as head of the Department of Health. Vince Haley will be the chief of Domestic Policy Council, and Kevin Hassett will lead the National Economic Council. Authorities in Maryland say FBI agent Eduardo Valdivia is facing charges for sexually assaulting 2 women. Valdivia had a bond hearing yesterday. Alex Jones will keep his website InfoWars for now. His lawyers are trying to block its sale, which was auctioned to pay a $1 billion defamation lawsuit. The winning bid came from the Onion's owners. A Houston bankruptcy judge will decide on the sale in December. And the 2024 National Dog Show will air this Thanksgiving on NBC. It's the 92nd year. The event at the Greater Philadelphia Expo Center will feature hundreds of dogs competing for the Best in Show title and a $20,000 prize. Get BIN News on demand 24/7 at BINnews.com.
New Schools for New Orleans, along with Allstate Sugar Bowl and Entergy New Orleans, would like to send a huge congratulations to our class of 2024 New Orleans Excellence in Teaching Award honorees. This year, we had 90 Teachers of the Year from each public school in New Orleans. Each of them was recognized at our annual gala, where we had over 350 attendees. We're excited to also share that each honoree is receiving a $1,000 classroom grant. Thank you for everything you do, teachers.
It's Off the Top with Norman Robinson on WBOK 1230 AM.
The ankle monitoring system in New Orleans is a disgrace, a dismal failure, and a public safety threat. People are being shot and killed. I see nothing being done about it. In my humble opinion, the whole damn system as practiced in New Orleans should be thrown out. Ideally, the ankle monitoring system, which uses electronic monitoring devices, is supposed to track the location of an individual under court supervision. It's an alternative to putting the person in jail, typically used for people on probation, parole, or awaiting trial. Time and time again, individuals wearing ankle monitors have been caught committing crimes while they're supposed to be under supervision in our city. The state attorney general ordered an investigation of the system back in July. The situation is just getting worse. Several days ago, masked gunmen drove through the French Quarter, opening fire in front of the popular Dickie Brennan's restaurant, killing 1 person and injuring 3 others. Police immediately tracked down one of the suspected gunmen. You guessed it, he was wearing an ankle monitor. 28-year-old Nicholas Morana is now being held on account of second-degree murder and 3 counts of attempted second-degree murder. He was wearing an ankle monitor for weapons charges and negligent injury, according to the NOPD. Officials from the company that keeps track of the monitoring system said Morana had violated the conditions of his ankle monitoring parole 40 times prior to the mass shooting in the French Quarter. The monitoring company told the news media that the violations were reported to the court, and that means he should have been arrested and put behind bars for violating his parole well before the mass shooting. Why didn't that happen, Criminal District Court Judge Leon Roche? Why didn't it happen after the first time, Judge, but 40 times? Come on, Judge. Judge Roche, if someone else is to blame or if someone should share the blame, we need you to tell us. Otherwise, it seems you're responsible for what happened. This is Norman Robinson, Off the Top.
Good morning, Wake Up. The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK 1230 AM.
And we are back. Welcome back to the Good Morning Show. Happy Hump Day, y'all. We want to thank Ty and Bonita from the Parent Leadership Collaborative talking to us about how to empower our parents and caregivers in the city of New Orleans. But right now, the man of the hour is Mr. Leroy Brown from OHUB. He's going to tell us about the contestant winners, and he's going to recap his organization's events. How you doing, Leroy?
I'm good, man. How you guys doing?
Happy early Thanksgiving.
Happy early Thanksgiving, man.
Yeah, how you feeling?
I'm feeling real good, man. We had a great event. A lot of folks came out. Amazing founders, so it's exciting.
Oyster dressing or cornbread dressing?
Both.
Cornbread dressing.
Both.
Cornbread.
Right. As long as you have some melatonin,
Both.
good.
Yeah, 1/4. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
My mama used to grow her own melatonin.
Yeah, man.
Backyard.
So tell us about your the event, the successful event you put on. Sis, looking back at the successful launch of the $100,000 climate
and
tech
tell folk
startup.
who are not listening, what is OHUB?
Yeah.
And
What
what
is
is
it?
this
Yeah, man.
initiative that yielded these winners?
Okay. So OHUB is really short for Opportunity Hub. And the goal of our organization was to look for Black and brown founders, also founders in that underserved population, to try to get their ideas forward. And you know, some of them had been maybe overlooked in the past, maybe hadn't been invested in. We focus specifically on them to get them into our incubator. Once we take them through a 10-week incubator, then we take our top 5. And after we take the top 5, then we do the pitch competition that you experienced the other night. And then we invest. And
So you were there.
no, I'm sorry.
No, that's
Yeah,
he said that you experienced. I'm like, wait, OT didn't
No,
tell me he went to the
he meant
OHUB.
manifesting. We,
Okay.
yes.
we all experienced it because it happened.
That's right. We all
okay.
experienced because it
All
happened.
right.
Yes.
So what about the winners? How did was it a tough competition? Like, did you have to like really engage and think about who you wanted to award these?
It was a tough competition, really because a lot of the founders, their ideas fit directly into some of the things that are happening into some of the challenges we have in New Orleans. So I'm going to read through the names of the founders, but then I'll tell you a little bit about their companies.
Okay.
Okay. So we had 5 in our top 5. We had Rodrigo Garcia from Suyana. We also had Beth Gillette from Fortify, Kala Fleming from Frontline Gig, Yoon Lee Chan from Phoenix Waste Solutions, and then we had Randy Williams, who did Metallic Luxury. What was cool about this is, so Suyana, back to Rodrigo, he leverages AI to make climate insurance more accurate, accessible, and affordable by integrating satellite and field data for improved pre-event pricing accuracy and delivering scalable solutions. So what you have is someone who has an app that can help the insurance industry better price the policies and things that they're given because he's using technology to actually determine what are the risks to the community. So it can help give people better insurance prices. Frontline Gig, which was Kala Fleming, which we talked about. Kala actually has an app that can make green work and say climate action work, on any of our green space work. She can turn it into a gig, into a gig economy. So what happens is she loads the app with the opportunities, and you just like a Uber or a DoorDash, you go and pick the things that you want to be involved in, and then you can go and work inside and work into the in our green economy. Fortify provides a multi-sided online marketplace that connects customers with financing options and contracts and referrals for solar efficiency and fortified roofs. This founder actually started out, Beth, actually started out with PosiGen. So she actually used her expertise with PosiGen to bring together the push for the fortified roofs for folks and also solar power that she can put the panels on top of the roof as well. By being able to do that and packaging finance options for clients or finance options for homeowners, it makes it a lot easier for them to get to that fortified, energy efficient roof. Metallic Luxury developed a net zero climate resilient homes that monitor water and electricity consumption through embedded technology, align natural flow and inform use without relying heavily on heating or cooling. So now we have someone who is actually using technology, Randy Williams, who's using technology, and I mean Randy, and she's a woman too, man. She's a really smart founder. She uses hers to use technology to create more energy efficient housing and homeowners. Now our winner was Yoon Lee Chan, and Yoon Lee Chan had Phoenix Waste Solutions, a 100% woman-owned business. She has created a groundbreaking zero-fuel micro waste-to-energy furnace capable of transforming 1,000 pounds of municipal solid waste into minimal ash with low-cost emissions and reduced costs. So she's literally taking trash, putting it into a container, and reducing it down to ash. And she called it atomic oxygen that she's actually using to burn the trash down to the ash. And so she was our winner. Phoenix Waste Solutions being able to take trash from 1,000 tons of solid waste down to a container of ash, basically.
So how do these innovations represent the future of climate tech, and why are they crucial for both the environment and the economy?
Well, I think most of our stuff is going to focus on energy efficiency, like we talked about with Fortify. I think Frontline Gig, I mean, if you think about New Orleans, a lot of times people say, we're behind on things, but Frontline Gig is actually giving us a gig economy. So those folks who want to participate and work can actually get on the app, find jobs that allow them to go out and do green, clean events.
Yeah. I mean, it's like upgrade technologies, AI technologies that deal with public utilities and water, the new movement. And I spoke on this at a national conference a couple of weeks ago. I was one of the featured panelists. Is Dr. White, how do you use these things that we have in our environment, but then how do you recapture them and reuse them?
You're absolutely right, man. A lot of the stuff that's coming out is just ideas that are either enhancing other things in order to drive down cost of fuel and all those different things.
And impact on the environment.
Impact on the environment. Right. That's the other part. Like the one with the being able to take 1,000 pounds of waste and turn it into ash with low emissions.
Right.
So, anytime you burn trash, you're going to get all kinds of stuff into the atmosphere. With this particular project, you don't. So most of our founders are doing things that are going to give you low carbon emissions. We're looking for, I think, net zero carbon products and different things like that. Anything that can improve the efficiency of.
So, Mr. Brown, this is in line. And I said I just came back from participating.
Yeah.
In a national panel for the 100-year anniversary of NLC about these issues. These are the jobs of the future, right?
Yes.
So you are honoring entrepreneurs, right? And thought leaders, the jobs in this market are high-paying jobs, right? Where you don't have to worry about a living wage or minimum wage. You're talking starting close to 6 figures. Who are we partnering with here? With Workforce Development, Delgado, Nunez, especially those technical institutions. Where is that part of this piece of the puzzle?
So the beauty of it is, all this kind of falls upon the initiative that would start out as H to the Future, which was the money that was pushed in order for us to capitalize on our fuel industry, and so in now fuel industry, right, all the pipelines are laid. So you're talking about hydrogen is going to easily be implemented into our energy system. Because Greater New Orleans Inc. is actually leading the way on that, and we are part of an ecosystem. So your universities that you're talking about, Nunez, Delgado, River Parish Community College, North Shore Technical College, all these guys are involved in some way or the other, be it developing the workforce or being a resource. The four-year colleges, the HBCUs, all those guys are supporting either the workforce side of it, or they're supporting the technology side by supporting our founders. We have great relationships with, say, Southeastern University, who's offered any AI or machine learning support to our founders that we need. We have University of Louisiana Lafayette, who's offered any support in the solar space to any of our founders that's needed. So in that ecosystem, you have, like you said, how does it all kind of work together? In that ecosystem, be it universities, two-year colleges, Urban League is actually involved doing cybersecurity and different things like that too. So being able to, New Orleans Career Center is also involved. So being able to take all those initiatives and move towards that space of clean energy and also workforce development is the goal of the overall plan.
Okay, all right. So connecting all of those critical players.
Connecting all of the critical players, yes.
So what's the next, right? You guys have highlighted the OHUB winners, critical areas of the economy linked to climate change. Our challenge moving forward is how do we continue to live with Mother Nature as she readjusts to us and readjust to herself? Mother Nature does not have to insist. Confucius said she can do whatever she wants. What's the next step in this evolution?
I think the next step in evolution, man, so it's a few steps. Let me start out with the founders. Since we from the founders' perspective, I think the next step is to continue to look for connections and customers for our founders. Right? You just named some folks like Solution Water Board. We have founders that have water system management devices, AI devices that we can use with those guys. So being able to make as many connections with customers and entities that need these solutions, I think that's one. The second level of this actually is for us to be able to continue to tailor this message, having the opportunity to come on with you guys and kind of talk to the general public about what we're doing in new energy and technology is a massive, massive help.
I like that with the Sewage and Water Board because it's interesting, right? Of the 1,386,000,000 cubic kilometers of water that inhabit this earth, only 3% of it is fresh water, right? And 2.5% of the 3% we can't access because it's either below the Earth's surface or in glaciers. And the 13,000 cubic kilometers are in the air and the clouds. And we don't know if extracting that, how much impact it'll have. So it's important of the small percentage, Dr. White, of water that we have, how do we not only capture it, but also reuse it?
Your relationship, definitely your relationship with water. When I'm talking with Sewage and Water Board, I'm also talking about, hey man, being able to put sensors in those pipelines.
Because it's not infinite.
It's not infinite. So being able to put sensors in those water lines to be able to measure pressure and changes and leaks in the line.
It's part of upgrade technologies.
Exactly. For us to better manage, to be better stewards of the resources that we already have been given. That's the goal of what we're doing with our technology right now.
So how did the founders and how do you guys feel about, are we far away from the future? You know, because capturing what Phoenix Waste Solutions is doing, I think has taken the German initiative that was a couple decades ago. It's taken that and brought it to the next level and reducing it to a certain amount of ash that doesn't affect the environment, but still not standard operating procedure. How close are we to that technology being something that we can access across the world?
Well, I mean, in different parts of the world, you definitely, there's already initiatives where they take trash and turn, different countries already take trash and turn it into ash.
Right.
That's happening. When you get to our space, man, a lot of these ideas and concepts are just being introduced. What we got to do now is policy got to catch up now. You know what I mean? And then and having a committee, what would really be neat if we had a space like once we had our founders and once everybody, there's multiple incubators that's doing founders right now, right? Once we have our founders identify and the ideas that they have, if there was a way for us to present those to a committee that could say, you know what, you could work with this person, you could work with this person, that would make our ecosystem just that much more stronger, right? Being able to take the folks who are already in those spaces, be it city council, be it the board members of Sewage and Water Board, all the Entergy. How do we look at these ideas and give these guys a fair chance to solve the problems that, that are popping up for us?
Gotcha. We're talking to Leroy Brown. He is the outreach coordinator and one of the bigwigs over at OHUB, Opportunity Hub, providing resources, challenges, but also networking for next generation of leaders in technology and industry.
And I mean, I think it's like a no-brainer to link these folk with the entities that will best, where their
best
ideas best fit, right? Because we had the guy from Sewage and Water Board on recently, and he was talking about how the line from part of the line is on the property of the owner and part of it is on the city, but they're relying on the owner to fix the whole line. I just got a letter saying that part of, my line needs to be looked at because of the lead, the possibility of the lead. And so if we can partner these thought leaders with our organizations to better up our processes, why is that not standard operating procedure?
I like the idea that the world and its resources are not infinite.
Yeah.
And so the question is, how do we recapture and reuse?
Preserve it too,
And then the old technology around that Phoenix Waste Solutions used, its emissions were harmful to the environment. So now we're seeing that they can be reduced to ashes, but not affect the clouds.
Right.
And not affect the atmospheric
The
rate.
climate,
Absolutely.
Well, will you
That's
come
good
back?
stuff,
We have
Mr. Brown.
new information to share with us, some new initiatives that you're starting up?
I think, and it was cool. What's really cool is that we had an opportunity to talk about like what the founders need. Like how do we come together and create a situational solution to where we can look at these founders and fit them into the problems that we have and make those things happen. I think that another initiative that we're talking about too is, and this is just a very personal initiative, just because I love this place, man. I came from Shreveport, Louisiana in 1987, and off and on I've been here, for the most part, for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's being able to take the knowledge of the resources and how do we bring it down to our business owners, right?
Yeah.
And so hopefully we're looking at March. Our goal is to do something called a Noe in the neighborhood. Most people know New Orleans Entrepreneur Week, and to be able to take that Noe in the neighborhood and bring it to our local community.
Well, we appreciate you
Absolutely,
for coming
we do.
back. And breaking news here that OHUB is thinking about their next major event in New Orleans East. And on this line, before Dr. White closes us out, if we don't follow and support what you guys are doing, some climatologists and environmentalists predict that Baton Rouge could be the beach. And Lord knows, we don't want that to happen.
Listen, we want to thank Leroy Brown of OHUB for coming and sharing his gifts with us this morning. But on the other side of the break, we're going to talk to Chef D about that Bayou Classic luncheon. This is WBOK 1230 AM.
What New Orleans is talking about.
All day long.
Baby. Whose station?
Our station.
Yes, it's our station.
Find us online. Did you know that you can now listen to your favorite show whenever you want? How? Just go to www.wbok1230.com. Click on the Talk tab and select your favorite show. There you'll see your favorite host and the show from each day. And be sure to follow us on Facebook at WBOK1230AM, Instagram at WBOK.1230, and TikTok at WBOK1230AM.
I'm Daryl Forges with WDSU News, and here's your headlines. A fire broke out at two multi-unit homes on Norman C. Francis, displacing 15 residents and leaving 3 people injured. Details are limited, but we are working to find out the extent of those injuries and what ignited the blaze. Stick with WDSU News as we continue to bring the latest on this developing situation. One of the 3 men accused of a deadly quadruple shooting in the French Quarter goes before a judge. Nicholas Miorana went before a judge for violating his bond condition. Miorana was out on bond for a previous case when he was arrested in New Orleans East following that deadly shooting last week. Police say they tracked him down using data from his ankle monitor. Miorana is now being held on a $4 million bond. Investigators say Nicholas's brother, Daniel Miorana, and another man, Daryl Adams, are still on the run. All right, travelers preparing to head out the door this morning on this Thanksgiving Eve. MSY offers long-term, short-term economy and surface lot parking, but spaces are filling up quickly as many people take off for Thanksgiving. Officials say you can reserve a parking spot in advance online. The airport even has remote baggage check-in from the parking garages to take time and take some stress out of traveling for many of you as you're heading to see loved ones for Thanksgiving. I'm Daryl Forges, and that's your headlines for WBOK. Have a fantastic day.
NOLA Public Schools' main round enrollment for kindergarten through 12th grade is now open. With 73 schools available through the NOLA Public Schools Common Application Process, or NCAP, finding the right school fit for your family is easier than ever. List up to 12 choices to maximize your chances and apply by January 24th. We're all in, and we hope you are too. Apply today at enrollnolaps.com. That's enrollnolaps.com.
Are you passionate about community safety and police accountability? Tune in to The Monitor's Mic, where we talk about oversight, policing, and you. Hosted by the Office of Independent Police Monitor, we're here to shine a light on policing issues that matter, from real-time policing updates to in-depth interviews. Get the facts and stay informed. We're breaking down complex issues, highlighting community voices, and holding people behind the badge accountable. Join us for an informative hour every Friday at noon on WBOK. Your city, your police, your show. The Monitor's Mic.
Visit DePaul's new Algiers Health Center at 2801 General de Gaulle Drive to receive primary and preventive care for both adults and children. Services also include behavioral health, imaging, and on-site pharmacy, vision, Medicaid enrollment assistance, and more. For appointments, visit DePaulCommunityHealthCenters.org or call 504-207-3060.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM. Good morning, Wake Up. The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK 1230 AM.
And we are back. Welcome back to the Good Morning Show. Happy Hump Day, Oliver's favorite day of the week.
Man, we inching, we rolling right up the backside of Hump Day, Doc. We're gonna get the top of it. We're gonna roll right into football. I mean
Look,
Thanksgiving.
right into football.
Yeah,
That's all that's on this brain.
Into Thanksgiving.
Into Thanksgiving. But we want to thank our guest, Leroy Brown from OHUB. I mean, he's doing some phenomenal, incredible work over there, and there were some phenomenal, incredible founders and inventions.
Climate change, and I tell folk, like I said, I've spoken about this, and I speak about this at national conferences, but also when I talk to folk individually, I had a conversation the other day. Whether you believe in climate change, whether it's nature, or whether man is affecting the climate, it doesn't matter.
Something happening.
There's another from the book of Wyatism, right? All I can say is something. Yeah, it doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
If it has an adverse effect, something happens.
Something's happening.
So if something happening, we need to
Gotta
do something
about it. Yeah. So shout out to Leroy Brown
we need
over
to
there.
do something about
with
something
OHUB. But we want to, OT and I, WBOK, we want to remind you that early voting is happening right now, excluding Thursday and Friday and Sunday. You can early vote all the way until November 30th.
Vote for us in District 2.
Come on now. We have a major school board race on the ballot for District 2. We all know that District 4 school board race was decided during our last election. And there's a concession letter that was authored by Dr. Donaldo Batiste.
First class
individual. Though he did not win the race, these are his words. Standing tall after a loss. While I may have lost my bid for re-election to the Orleans Parish School Board, I also regained my life of ministry to the elderly and the infirmed. It is a well-known fact I frightened the charter school people, those big money profiteers who spent upwards of $208,000 to unseat me and replace me and fill another vacant seat with only their interests in mind. I am referencing Democrats for Education Reform. Rest assured that I am neither sad nor sorrowful about this outcome. I submit. God has spoken. Let the redeemed of the Lord say amen. I do receive and embrace this outcome, particularly since it was my decision not to seek re-election this term, and not only reconsidered after parents and community members respected and brave and courageous move orchestrated by me and a fellow respected school experience administrator, Layla Jacobs Eames, on the board. We work with our constituents on the board to have them join us in establishing our first district-run school, the Leah Chase School, in February. This spooked the pro-charter constituency. I ran a respectable race with no mudslinging and won every endorsement sponsored by the community, including the Orleans Parish Democratic Executive Committee, the Independent Women's Organization, the Alliance for Good Government, Forum for Equality, the Orleans Parish Republican Executive Committee, New Orleans Coalition, the Interdenominational Ministerial Alliance, Vote, Step Up, New Orleans United Front, as well as that of prominent and respected elected officials. No one can silence me. I still stand New Orleans strong. Signed, Dr. Donaldo R. Batiste. Well, thank you for your service
thank you,
to this community and its children, Dr. Batiste. And I'm going to be very transparent about I was one of those people who begged him to get into this race. When I heard that he was not seeking re-election,
he was.
I personally called him.
Yeah, he was.
And I begged him.
He said he was going to.
He was not
retire.
seeking re-election, and so he's absolutely correct in that. I know there are a number of other community leaders who also asked him to join this race, I'm going to say I did because I have permission to say I did, but I don't know if anybody else wants to say they did. But I do know the man that mentors me in this space also supported Dr. Batiste and encouraged him to get into this race. And so it's very hard when your mind is made up not to put yourself through something, and then you offer yourself up, and then only to be met with all of this dark money that comes in. How can you compete with that as a grassroots candidate? What do you do? And I think that brings us back to all of these organizations who hold real power, who endorse you. Something has to be done where you can have a real voice, right? Because you earned the endorsement, but then if you can't afford
Great point.
to actually pay pro ratas and to actually get on these mailers, then what's the point of offering yourself up and vying for endorsements and you're only left out of the money-making part of it?
So let's talk about the election economy.
Yes.
Right? And that's a real good point.
Absolutely.
It used to be that the advocacy groups would raise money, and it wasn't as important on the candidate to put up money, especially
Yes.
during the days when the cause was important.
Yes.
But it's a different environment now. You have the political brokers, right, who they will go with whoever can pay them.
Yes.
Right? You can usually see them on campaign
So
reports.
how can we change that?
They're getting paid. And then now, the powerful point of what you just said was that many of the advocacy organizations have to readjust, right, and take a step back and reassess where they are, just like the National Democratic Party. So you're endorsing these candidates that align with your philosophy, align with what you think in the community, but you don't have the resources of the man or woman power to actually get out there and get them elected unless they give you some money.
Right.
That is not a formula for success
It's
for
not.
our community. Very profound point that
Mhm.
you made, Dr. Wyatt.
Mhm.
So it's just like I tell folk, I will remember, and I'll say this, right? I'll never forget the press conference where they had over 100 officers for former mayoral candidate Desiree Charbonnet,
Mhm.
100 pastors. So you had 100 pastors at a press conference for Ms. Charbonnet,
Yes.
right? Which she earned, right?
Yes.
Of course. But LaToya Cantrell beat the daylights out of in every precinct in those pastors' communities.
So the math ain't mathing.
So the math wasn't math.
Right.
And I have challenged pastors. I said, hey, hold on a second, man.
Mhm.
You got to make sure at least if you're endorsing somebody, it's not about a pro rata share. It's not about it's the fact that it's best for your congregation, and that you can move them.
Which brings me to this point. Does a public endorsement really equate to a public endorsement of the ballot?
Now you're digging in the weeds.
Let's talk about
Now
it,
you're
right?
going into the rules.
Because if I say I support you publicly, if I allow you to use my face, if I allow you to say I'm endorsed by such and such, but you the big dog in that district and you carry that district, but I don't,
Am I really with you?
then are you really with me? Because you said you
and
endorsed me.
you're about to get a law degree, so you know the answer to that.
I'm asking the questions because these are questions that need to be
That is-
asked publicly.
That is another layer, right?
Something because
so that is another layer.
yes,
So there are, and this is real. We
Yes,
are
it's
dealing with it
happening.
now.
yes,
There are major officials who will smile on the appearance in terms of that they're helping you or
Yes.
helping us,
Mhm.
or supporting like elected officials or supporting community officials.
yes, and then they pull
but
pit
they're
for
not
sale.
really.
And they pull pit for sale.
But
So
they're not. And because the other candidate may have some resources, the other candidate may pay people who are connected to them.
Yes.
So though they may say I'm with
yes,
Ronaldo Batiste, they're not really.
but that brings me to this point. Then be like Trump and just say that. Say, look, Doc, I want to support you. I really do. I believe you the better candidate, Dr. Batiste. But for me, I'm getting ready to run this race. It's getting ready to be really expensive, right? And I'm going to need this person's purse to back me. Then say that, because then you don't give him the false belief that he has all of these people backing him. Because to say I won every endorsement and then you lose with somebody earning 63%
Right.
of the vote, then the math ain't mathing.
Dr. Wyatt, look, I know as an elected official, right? You got a quarter of you're talking about a quarter and a quarter and a quarter, not just about Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah.
You got a quarter of the people who smile in your face,
Yep.
but they're really against you.
Mm-hmm.
You have another quarter that if you don't have resources,
Mhm.
then it's going to be hard for them to be with you.
Mm-hmm.
You have a group that really don't care one
Mhm.
way or another. and then you have another quarter that's a loyal people who really will use their own resources in their own time. It's like you, right? You and your group, y'all will actually put up y'all pennies and go out knocking doors and help people for nothing.
Absolutely.
You're not asking
We've done
them
it all the time.
For anything.
Yes.
But the game has changed now. You heard of the term pro rata share.
Yes.
Right? So we're aligned on everything, from race to ideology to agenda. But I don't have the pro rata share.
I don't have the money.
They're not going to help you.
So then it brings me back,
which is a shame.
But it brings me back to my original question. Then are these groups in it to put the best people in the seats,
No.
or are they in it to enrich themselves to continue to make money off the idea that I'm going to support you as long as you could afford it? Because understand this, Oliver.
Look at some of the
Understand this. I won endorsements that my opponent was then able to go back on and say she can't afford it, but I can pay for it.
Look at the moves that people are making now.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with the community, nothing to do with the culture.
Well, we have to do something
so
about
if it has
about
nothing
this.
to do with
This
the community and culture, look, the one advantage that Trump had, and I had this conversation with some academics, right, and historians and people who watch the elections, and you said it the other day. You can say what you want about Trump, but he was extremely transparent.
Very clear.
In what he wanted to do in his intentions. And he's playing it out in his cabinet appointments.
And even when he lied, he come back and say, I lied. I have no association with Project 2025. And the first day, he said, we gonna mass deport people.
Yeah, that was campaign.
Yeah,
that was campaign
we gonna
conversation.
destroy the Department of
Right.
Education. The same thing we were telling people he was going to do.
Well, today, and especially amongst, unfortunately, amongst the African American and many liberal political brokers, there's that level of transparency. First of all, they don't want to tell the community they're not with you, because they don't want the black backlash from the community.
Yes.
For the community to say, well, hold on a second.
What you mean
How
you're not
can you
with us?
say you stand for, you want to save this black district, you want to save this black congressional district, but you want to give away the blackest city in the state?
Well, because you can't be with my black self where you need them green dollars from that lady. So that's why you can't be with me, because I can't afford it.
And so, but the age of transparency is coming. Right.
Oh, it's coming. That's one thing we could thank Trump for.
That the age of transparency is coming, and
it's coming.
And there's a whole nother movement now where people see. Look, people know y'all endorsing him or her.
Yeah, especially when you have these dinners and
so
these
you're
benefits in conjunction with these people by you pretending
absolutely
like
correct.
like that's not an endorsement.
Just be honest.
Just be honest. We know when the
so
flyers
you don't like
come
it
out,
when you look in the mirror.
That's it. And so for me, I think that's where the Democratic Party has to have a check of itself, right? Because if the president-elect did nothing else, he showed us the flaws and the gaps in the Democratic Party.
People are rejecting, and I mean, I love it when we get into these conversations here. This last election, when Trump's victory wasn't really about Republican and Democrat.
No.
It was about the people he connected with.
Absolutely. And he made the right connections in the right places.
Dr. Wyatt, it really wasn't a Republican victory.
It was not. It was not. Didn't we say the people that ain't never came outside?
They ain't no party. They ain't never voted.
Reverend Calhoun, welcome to the Good
Never
Morning Show.
voted.
Happy Wednesday.
You're only going to get this right here on the Good Morning. WBOK 1230. Hey,
good morning. Good morning.
Hey, man. Hey, Mayor Calhoun.
You've lived long enough, Oliver, to see the dynamic has changed.
Yes.
When the personality of the community was running rampant, when people respected those people, and the office had a level of respect.
Yes.
The presidency has no respect in it anymore. The man that's in there now is not there to help anybody but himself. For those that can't see that, then something, in my opinion, is wrong with them. But going back to your question, Doc, what do we do to change the understanding get what's being torn down back into play? Because to me, what's happening now is education is being destroyed. You just had a gentleman on there talking about jobs, futuristic jobs. We can see in the next 10 years, all your manual labor jobs are going to be gone. You had somebody talking earlier concerning what the family and having representation at the table. When you went to school, Oliver, you know who your parent trust was? The teacher.
Yeah.
That's not happening now.
Yeah, but they knew the teachers.
That's right, because the teacher used to live in our community.
Right.
So when you come back to understand that all the dynamics of a community has been torn apart from us, that the trust level for everybody, where is it now? Who do we trust?
But Dr. Wyatt's point, and thank you, Reverend Cowan, because you're qualified to have this conversation. Dr. Wyatt's point is quite a profound one, right? What is an endorsement, right? Who are you
What
really
does it really
with?
mean?
Oh, no, listen to me now, and think about this, because you'll get it. These organizations are so-called power brokers, right? You really can't move your people. So and if you can't move your people just because it's the right thing to do, you need a pro rata share, right? Usually your word or the word, right, or somebody seeing your endorsement is usually good enough. It used to mean something.
Yep.
That doesn't mean anything anymore. So it's just a hustle game now, right?
Yes.
Or it's something more sinister from what Dr. Wyatt said. I want to make it seem like I'm with
you.
us.
Yeah.
But man, my resources coming from the whole nother side. Period. I'm comfortable with the
Full
other
stop.
group.
Yeah, as long as I'm not impacted economically, I'm going to do what I got to do.
There
I'll
you
say
go.
what I have to say to keep my standing within the community.
Yep.
Bingo.
To make people think I'm all that, but
Yep.
the reality of it is I don't care.
So
Doc, we're going to have a meeting,
correct.
A press conference next Tuesday at MLK
Right.
High School.
So think about it. Yeah.
The difference is it's going to be student led.
Yeah. So think about it,
children need
Reverend
to come
Calhoun.
talk.
And this is OT, the talk show host, saying it. When you got over 100 pastors, right, at a press conference,
That's right. I was one
endorsing,
of 'em.
listen to me now, endorsing somebody, and their congregations go the other way, that would make me think that there's something else or some work that I need to do to connect with my community. Because, with my aunt, my great-grandfather, Reverend Burns, Reverend Williams, yourself, and others, you know that the people who follow you, that they know it's not just political, it's not about a pro rata share. They know it's about where you line up spiritually in ideology with those individuals.
Yes.
So what is, and I think Dr. Wyatt's point is, if we're going to win, we have to repair that.
Yes. Yes. And Miss
Repair the
Alicia,
trust.
For real.
if she's listening, she can call and verify this. When I ran for Bessie, the lady that was running my opponent
Mm-hmm.
at the IWO endorsement, she came up to us and said to Miss Alicia, she said, "You have the better candidate. You have the better candidate." Like if I had to
but
tell you,
Stevie Wonder told us that.
She said you have the better candidate. Now this is a person that's
Right.
running my opponent.
Right.
So in my mind, I'm like, so what you running her for? If this is about children and you want to do what's best for kids, then the only thing I could think about is it's profitable for you to go with her.
Your opponent didn't even live in the state.
She didn't even live in the state.
She didn't live in the
For the
state.
seat she was representing,
Okay.
every political figure in this city
She
knew
didn't
it.
even live in the state.
Every political figure in this city knew it. Every pastor in this
It
city
wasn't about our
knew
children.
It. So it wasn't about the kids. So let's just be honest. Why we do the dog and pony show every election and pretend that this is about real outcomes for real people? It's not. It's about who got the bigger bag and who I can get the most money from and what relationship
in
that I
election that
can
you
benefit
were in-
from the most.
Right.
In that election you were in, Dr. Wise?
Yes.
The election before that had brought out everything wrong with this young lady that was running.
I remember.
Had to see. I mean, it was no doubt.
That's when she was running
that
against
she
the
was
girl
being
Kyra
bought
out of the
and
River
paid for.
Parish. Yes.
That's right. It was no doubt she was being bought and paid for.
Yes.
That was acknowledged when she ran against Luella.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to understand, the person, that one person that was able to get that business community to put their money in, to show them that, hey, we got money in the school system, and I'm going to show you how to get this money out of the school system. You look at our school system today. You look at it, it's in the most deplorable condition that you can ever think it will be.
Yeah. Well, Reverend Calhoun, look, we're about to close out this segment. We appreciate you,
Mm-hmm.
but the moral of the story is be transparent. Yeah, Be transparent. Period. That's all. Don't say you're for us, but you're not. Don't say you're for the children, but you're not.
Well, I mean,
look, just be for yourself. Say I'm for me because it's gonna benefit me. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
And don't have the appearance to make people think you can move voters and you can move people.
Right.
And you can't.
Right.
And why can Dr. Wyden say you can't? Because the results,
the data says you can't.
And the results don't line.
63% of the people went the other
way. The
way.
results don't line.
Yeah.
Up.
Yeah. So let's be clear here. Are we? Good morning, Miss Alicia. Welcome to the Good Morning Show.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Good morning. Happy Thanksgiving. And Oliver is cornbread dressing for me. I'm a master at cornbread dressing. I like oyster dressing, but cornbread dressing is my
well, save me a corner. I want a corner, Miss Alicia.
I'm going to mix them.
You see, that's how you're going to get in trouble.
I know.
Real quick, because I know y'all about to do some other stuff. I want to confirm what Dr. Wyatt just said. It was my pleasure to be with her on her campaign. It was my pleasure to see all the people who loved her. In the river parishes, they called her that little girl. They couldn't remember her name, and they called her Little Doc. She was phenomenal. She had all of the endorsements and stuff. But even now, it was Norma. I'm not going to say the last name, Oliver. You know her. Norma not only said it at the IWO meeting that you have the better candidate, she also said it at Bold meeting, at the Bold endorsement.
Absolutely.
You have the better candidate. I said, yeah, but you know she doesn't live here. She said, well, they're using my address. I said, but you all know this woman does not live here. She lives, at that point, she was living in New Mexico. I said, y'all know she does not live here, and y'all pushing it. And she just threw her hands up. But I want to say, even to this day, there still need to be some amends to Dr. Wyatt for what they did to her in that race.
But
thank you, Ms. Alicia.
Dr. Wyatt in the Erase the Board movement, actually, time proved them correct.
Yeah. Shout out to Erase the Board.
Because the product proved the movement correct.
You know I like talking to you on this station, right, Oliver?
Yeah.
I love this, what we do. I get up every morning ready to sharpen my intellectual knives with you.
You don't always win in the moment.
Sure don't.
But look where the movement is.
We damn sure didn't lose, huh? Look, on the other side of the break, we're going to talk to Chef D about this Bayou Classic luncheon. Stay right here with us, WBOK 1230 AM.
And what New Orleans is talking about.
All day long.
Who station?
The oyster dressing.
You know.
This is your news update for WBOK 1230 AM from WDSU. For all your news and weather, watch WDSU News, New Orleans' leader in live, local, late-breaking news. Today at noon and 4 p.m.
All of southeast Louisiana is under a dense fog advisory. We're looking at visibility for the morning commute to be less than a mile in some spots. We'll expect this to get better as we head throughout the day. We'll see a little more sunshine today. Highs will make it into the mid to upper 70s for us, so slightly warmer than yesterday. We are watching for storms to move in for our Thanksgiving day. From the WDSU First Warning Weather Center, I'm Raven Richard.
An official message from Medicare.
Medicare plans change from one year to the next. And this year, it's important for you to review your current coverage and compare all your options during Medicare open enrollment. Compare health plans, drug coverage, and costs. See if you can save some money, and don't forget to make sure your drugs are covered. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Visit Medicare.gov or call 1-800-MEDICARE.
Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
New Orleans, it's time to invest in our children's future. I'm Eric Doc Jones, an experienced educator, proven leader, and tireless advocate for our students. I'm in the runoff election for the Orleans Parish School Board District 2. It is critical because our students deserve better. I'm honored to have the endorsement of U.S. Congressman Troy Carter, Louisiana State Senator Joseph Boyd, and Councilman Oliver Thomas. Early voting begins November the 22nd and Election Day December the 7th. Vote Eric Doc Jones, District 2, number 12 on the ballot. Our children, our responsibility. Paid for by the committee to elect Eric Doc Jones, number 12.
Hi, this is Arnie Filko. Let's elevate every Tuesday through Thursday from 6 to 7 o'clock p.m. as we discuss the community community, the country, and the world, from politics to current events to sports. We look forward to your input and continuing the quality programming on your community station, WBOK. Join Carrie and I every Tuesday through Thursday, 6 to 7 o'clock p.m. on Elevated Conversations, the Arnie and Carrie Show. See you soon.
Greetings, WBOK family. This is Jason Clark, host of United Way and You. Be sure to tune in next Thursday at 12 p.m. when we'll be speaking with Melanie Richardson, co-founder and executive director of Training Grounds, a United Way funded partner. The topic will be the We Play, We Connect Family Resource Hub. Please tune in if you're able. Until then, we only have one life to live, so live united.
The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation is the nonprofit organization that owns the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival presented by Shell. With the funds generated from Jazz Fest, the foundation invests in Louisiana communities through economic development, cultural enrichment, and free educational programs. To learn more about the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation, please visit us at www.jazzandheritage.org.
Welcome to Liberty Bank and Trust, where your financial journey transforms communities. Since 1972, our customized banking solutions power your dreams and fuel your community growth. Every dollar you invest with us circles back to empower more people, ensuring opportunities for generations. Join us at Liberty Bank. Together, we empower possibility. Visit libertybank.net to start banking with purpose. Liberty Bank, there's freedom here.
Hey everybody, it's Kimber White Dupree.
And it's Graylin Bryant Banks from the front porch. We're coming up next.
Good morning, Wake Up. The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK 1230 AM.
Welcome back to the Good Morning Show. I am your host, Dr. Ashanta White. My super producer, Nyra Sanders, is behind the glass holding us all together. But right now in studio is none other than, they put Chef D on people, so I just kept saying Chef D, but that's Big Lukey. Lukey, Chef D is in the building. How you doing?
I'm good, Doc. How about yourself,
You look
baby?
good. You look good.
Thank you, baby.
So look, you came here to talk about this Bayou Classic Luncheon. Tell us about that.
Oh, yeah. This weekend, Friday and Saturday, we got this Creole brunch going on at Jay's Place, NOLA. I mean, it's going to be off the chain. We offering, we got a DJ, we got drink specials. We got an awesome menu. I mean, menu consists of oyster dressing, old school oyster dressing.
That's OT favorite. I hope he listening. OT, look, Chef D gonna have that oyster dressing at the Creole brunch over there.
We got peel and eat shrimps. We got lemon butter turkey. We got barbecue shrimp and grits. We got sweet potato waffles. We gonna do the damn thing this weekend, man. We just trying to, invite all the locals.
Yeah.
And invite your family that's coming in time, the alumni from Southern, from Grambling. Come on over, have a good time with us this weekend, Friday and Saturday from 11 to 4, 205 North Broad Street.
205 is 2005, right? 2005 North Broad Street. That's okay, I got you. It's $49.95 for adults, $15.99 for kids ages 5 to 12. Eventbrite has the tickets on sale right now. It's going to be at Jay's Place, NOLA, the official Creole brunch for the Bayou Classic weekend, November 29th and November 30th. Y'all got to get in the building to get some food. So is Mama Chef D going to be in the kitchen with you?
Man, you about to break my heart. Mama going to Atlanta.
Oh, she's going to Atlanta?
I planned this and really didn't get her schedule on what she was doing, and she going to Atlanta on me. It's breaking my heart,
Listen, you have to make certain that when you're doing things like this, because people look forward to it. She's always in your videos. She's sitting next to you in church. We got to make sure Mama Chef D in the building too. So listen, they can go to Eventbrite to get tickets, right?
Yeah, yes.
And the tickets are $49.95 for adults. So anybody over 12 years old is considered the adult. So you got to pay the $49.95, but any child 5 to 12 can pay $15.99. And listen, it's a full bar. There's drink specials and a live DJ. Who's the DJ?
Friday we got DJ Streets and Sunday we got Big Polo, baby. We're going to rock the house this weekend.
Listen, so now you know Polo bring the people out now. So look, if you want to take part in this Creole brunch for the Bayou Classic weekend, please go get your tickets. Once again, that is November 29th and November 30th from 11 to 4. $49.95 for adults, $15.99 for the kids. And let me tell you something. This man can cook. I remember I went to my first, the all white picnic that they have, and your food was out there. I mean, listen, you can cook.
Appreciate it.
You can cook. So anywhere you serving the food, I need to be in the building so I can get some of that. So if you want to take part, if you want to try his food, I'm telling you right now, they call him Chef D, but I call him Big Lukey. So Lukey, and you're the former what? Weren't you? Didn't you reign for the Namtok Parade? What were you?
King 52.
Big King.
King 52, 23.
King 52 for the Namtok Parade. Y'all know that crew that all of New Orleans be talking about on the West Bank. Absolutely the best bank. LGS, stand up.
Oh, yeah.
King 53?
52.
52 in 2003. Yes, indeed. So we want to invite you to go to the link on Eventbrite, get your tickets. Jay's Place NOLA. Adults are $49.95. Kids are $15.99. That is Bayou Classic Weekend, the Creole Brunch. Is there anything else you want the people to know about? What can they expect from this event?
Oh, this event is going to be wild. I mean, it's not just for the out of town. It's for the locals that's going to be out all day on Friday shopping. On Saturday, if you ain't got nothing to do, come on by and grab you something to eat, grab you a good drink. We got drink specials. We're going to have lemon drops. We got margaritas. We got Long Island iced tea. Man, we're going to do the thing, man. Come on out and have a good time with us.
And kids under 5 eat free, y'all. So if you have a child that's under 5, you going to pay your $49.95, but your baby going to eat free. Can't beat that with a stick. And what I love about what he said was that a lot of events always want to cater to folk who are visiting. Yeah. You led with this. It's for the locals, right? For the locals. If you've been out there working all day, shopping for Thanksgiving, shopping for Christmas, and you need somewhere to go Friday night, Friday afternoon, Saturday afternoon, stop over at Jay's Place NOLA and get you some Creole brunch from none other than Chef D over for the Bayou Classic Weekend. It's so good to have you here. It's so good to talk to you. You got to come back and see us when you're doing things and share what you're doing with us.
I sure will.
Do you have any activities or any events coming up that you want us to know about?
Yeah, we going to also, we got a party for the purpose coming up December the 7th. Where I'm going to accept all gloves, socks, and hats for the homeless, and I'm going to feed the homeless on Christmas Day.
Absolutely. And that's not your first time doing that, right?
No, it's not.
Absolutely. You always doing something to give back to the community. So we got to love on ours, y'all. If you are in the city and you're looking for somewhere to get some really good food from a man that know how to put the wrist, you know how to flick that wrist because that's what his mama told him how to do. November the 29th, 11 to 4. November 30th, 11 to 4. Adults, the price is $49.95. Children under 5 eat free. Children 5 to 12, $15.99. Get your tickets on Eventbrite. It will take place at Jay's Place NOLA, 2005 North Broad Street, New Orleans, Louisiana. Tickets are on sale right now. I am always excited to see my LJS people.
Always.
You know it's always
Stand
love.
up, LJS.
Anytime that you want to come back to WBOK and you want to share with us what you're doing, the door here is always open for you.
I appreciate
it. So look,
Doc.
we want to thank our guests for joining us today. We had Ty and Benita from the Parent Leadership Collaborative talking about empowering parents and caregivers. We talked to Big Leroy Brown from OHUB. He was telling us about his contestant winners for that real big tech initiative that they had going on. And right now in studio, it's none other than LJ's own Big King from Namtok, Chef D, talking to us about that Bayou Classic luncheon. If you're not doing anything from 11 to 4 on November 29th and November 30th, go on over to 2005 North Broad Street and holler at Chef D and tell him put that food on the plate for you and tell him Dr. Wyatt sent you. You heard me?
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Listen, I want to invite y'all to stay with us right here for the front porch. Up next with Graydon and Kimber. This is WBOK 1230 AM. Wishing you guys a happy and safe Thanksgiving. We're going to see y'all next week.
Have you heard the secret of what New Orleans is talking about? I promise everything will be okay if you're listening here on the airwaves.
campus of Xavier University. WBOK 1230 AM.
Go.
An Equity Media Station.
This news report is brought to you by New Schools for New Orleans.
I'm Bree Wood with 4 things you should know from BIN News. Despite some long lines at airports, only a dozen flights have been canceled today. Most holiday travelers will drive, but the TSA expects to screen 18.3 million passengers through the Monday after Thanksgiving. Top officials from Mexico and Canada warned that President-elect Trump's proposed tariffs would harm all involved economies. Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum stated that, quote, one tariff will follow another, and Bank of Canada officials noted the clear impact on both economies. People with HIV will be allowed to get kidneys and livers from HIV-infected donors under a new rule from the Biden administration. The rule, announced Tuesday by the Department of Health and Human Services, gets rid of the requirement that these kinds of transplants only be allowed as part of clinical research. And Arizona State University was fined $25,000 by the Big 12 Conference after fans stormed the field during their upset win against BYU on Saturday. Get BIN News on demand 24/7 at BINnews.com.
New Schools for New Orleans, along with Allstate Sugar Bowl and Entergy New Orleans, would like to send a huge congratulations to our class of 2024 New Orleans Excellence in Teaching Award honorees. This year, we had 90 Teachers of the Year from each public school in New Orleans. Each of them was recognized at our annual gala, where we had over 350 attendees. We're excited to also share that each honoree is receiving a $1,000 classroom grant. Thank you for everything you do, teachers.
You're on the front porch with WBOK 1230 AM.